Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. So, overall, pretty solid go home Monday Night Raw before Money in the Bank. We um, we opened up with CM Punk, but really the story of this show was really the bookended Money in the Bank qualifying matches. You had the women's Money in the Bank qualifying match, final one for Raw, to open the show, and then the men's Money in the Bank qualifying match to close the show. And they were both won by luchadors. And we get La Primera, the debut of Stephanie Vicare, after dropping her NXT Women's Championship in a very shocking decision 6 nights ago. And here she is. She's qualified for Money in the Bank. She got star presentation, a video package, pyro, a new entrance, got a incredible reaction from the people in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And if you guys haven't figured it out by now, you need to buy your stock in Stephanie Vaquer. Because if you're looking at the calendar right now, we're almost a year to the day where she had her coming out party against Mercedes Mone. And she's on the main roster of WWE and on WWE's flagship show, Monday Night Raw on Netflix, getting one of the bigger reactions of the entire night. She wins the match over one of the more over females in the division, and Liv Morgan, who didn't get pinned. Ivy Nile, separate from that, Ivy Nile looked really good, and she was reaching for her nose a lot in this match. So I don't know if there was something going on there, but she powered through this, and she's looked very impressive. But this was all about Stephanie Vicare, and I've been saying and singing the praises of her on this channel since she jumped to WWE. And it has just been a meteoric rise to, like, she's already a star. And you could see instantly. And, maybe it was jarring the way that she lost the championship, but let's call it what it is. 6 nights later, she's qualified for Money in the Bank. She, like Chad Gable, yes, let's leave out the whole El Grande Americana. She's doing double duty on Saturday. She's at Worlds Collide. She's teaming with Lola Vice against the two women from AAA, and then she's going to be in the most stacked Money in the Bank field in women's Money in the Bank history. This women's Money in the Bank match is unbelievable in terms of talent, and I'm picking Naomi to win that, but I would not be shocked in the slightest if any one of those six won. I mean, Julia's probably at the bottom of the list in terms of winning. Rhea Ripley doesn't need to win it, but the array of talent in that match is just absurd. And Stephanie Vicare being the last one to be added to that match just says it all. And then you could tell she gets the hype package to introduce it, even though she had already had 2 matches post WrestleMania. People know who she is. She gets the pyro coming out. She gets the cool entrance. Everybody knows who she is. Like, this is absurd what has happened in the span of a year, for this woman to be a relative unknown to North American people. She gets basically a warm-up match on Collision, and then the next night at Forbidden Door in Long Island has a match with Mercedes Mone, one of the standards of the women's division, outshines her, and then gets the fuck out of there and goes to WWE. And then she outshines what was seemingly thought to be the bigger signing in Julia. Everybody thought Julia was going to be the big fish signing. She's outshined Julia. And now you're putting her on the screen with Rhea Ripley and teasing us about that. Oh my goodness. Like, this is this woman is going to be a freaking star. If you're wanting to talk about, like, everybody's been talking about, like, and this has been going on since Rey Mysterio came to the WWE 25 years ago. They're looking for Latin American representation and Latin American stars to really carry this company. And, obviously the AAA alliance that came about around WrestleMania. I'm telling you guys right now, Stephanie Vicare is that bridge into Latin American culture, luchador, for the females in that respect. Like, this is seriously just the beginning. She is just scratching the surface of what she can do in this industry. And, like, from a look perspective, she appeals to the men, she appeals to the women. She's an incredible wrestler. Again, when I saw that she came to this match, I was a little bit concerned that maybe they would not let her pull double duty, but they're having her do it. They're having her do a tag match, and then they're having her do the Money in the Bank match. And this is just it's a statement type of move from WWE that they clearly see something. And then literally about an hour later, she is standing toe to toe with Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley is just shaking her hands and having a face up. I'm telling you guys, when that happens, when they face off in the match, it might be one of the most downloaded clips on the internet because all you fucking sickos are gonna just go fucking nuts. And like in terms of female representation, like this is gonna be good for women. I mean, all you sick, demented, perverted freaks on the internet as well are gonna probably go fucking nuts too. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's just incredible to see the meteoric rise of Stephanie Vaquer from where she was just as a relative unknown 12 months ago to being in the ring with Mercedes Mone as kind of just like a throwaway opponent, just so they could give up the the New Japan Strong Championship to which was supposed to be Mercedes's in the first place. Outshines her, gets cheered, forces Mercedes to turn heel, which was never supposed to be the plan. You sickos can dismiss that. And then Stephanie goes bowling, has a party with Mercedes, and then leaves. And then she has now been a North American champion. She has now been an NXT Women's Champion, and now she's in Women's Money in the Bank. And I'm not ruling out that she wins the match. I think it should be Naomi, just given based off the story. But I'm telling, like, seriously, like the popularity of this woman cannot go unnoticed. Like, and you get thrown into the fire, and you get thrown on screen with Rhea Ripley your first night as a full-time performer on the main roster. That means they think really highly of you. So I listen, I can't wait for the women's Money in the Bank match. The men's has a very, eclectic field. And we've talked about that, with, El Grande Americano being in there, Solo Sikoa showing up in there. Andrade, who really hasn't been pushed. He's, which I don't mind. LA Knight obviously being in there for the third year in a row. But the women's Money in the Bank match is just incredible. Just incredible. Like I said, you got three cornerstones of the NXT women's division near the tail end of last year in this match. You got Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Stephanie Vaquer. Then you've got Rhea Ripley. You've got Alexa Bliss and Naomi, who are like kind of like the old guard. So this is seriously, I cannot wait for this women's Money in the Bank match. And there's a case to be made for all six of them to win that match. I don't think for some reason, Julia is not connecting. And I think some of it is just that, Stephanie in some ways has just completely outshined her. I don't know what it is. I mean, you guys can maybe try to help me out in this, because listen, Julia's got a unique thing about her too. It's just, it didn't click. It didn't gel. And they had to turn her heel because they recognized that Stephanie was the bigger star. They split them up, and, here we are. But like I said, another example of, hey, just, using the platform to go to a different spot. And now here she is, one of the biggest stars in women's wrestling, Stephanie Vicare. So we'll see what happens on Saturday in her Worlds Collide match, and then also in Money in the Bank. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.